volatility in the market. We still have a ton of earnings going on this week. So luckily we have that. But these weeks can always be tough when there's not much data. Hopefully, though, there's always there's times in the market though where volatility is kind of left in the market, but we don't have much data. And I generally find those times pretty fun, at least in the past, like recently that I've seen. It's those days where it's those weeks where you have no economic data, no earnings, no nothing going on, that it's really bad. But I think since we have some volatility in the market, still could be a fun week. Full of opportunity, so we'll see. Equal lows just above the 1 week fair value gap also. Heard that, yeah. Could you take longs to the 4-hour fair value gap or only shorts? I mean, potentially if there's clarity for it. But I would anticipate with this morning, there's the way we're already looking. I mean, potentially. I'm not really looking for that going into the morning, though. I'd rather just wait and try and look for the short side of things if we want to tap in up here. Because really, if I wanted to be long, it's tough in this area right here. I don't necessarily, I don't love that here. If I wanted to be long, that should have been last night. Still no sound? I hate that some people, like every time we get in here, some people can't hear us. I don't know why. I mean, it just depends on the opportunity, in my opinion. Liam. But on a no news Monday, I'm already coming into the week, like I don't have a whole lot of clarity on this lower time frame right now, so yeah, it's just not worth it to like try and force a trade up to here. Even though I think we could potentially tap in up here. It just depends too. Like you gotta have clarity for that, you know. If let's see. You know, maybe if we close this 4-hour candle inversing this, then the next 4-hour candle we opened up, tap back into this, tap this 4-hour PD array. Like if we tap this 4-hour PD array and set up something potentially long, like yeah, right. But I have to have like context with that. And as of now, I don't really have a whole lot of context for that, except for there's potential that this inverses and we go there. But I haven't even seen what's needed for that to happen yet. I don't trade those, Zatara. I just trade NQ and ES, to be honest. But if you have a setup you want me to look at, like feel free to throw a screenshot. I'm happy to look at it for you. I'm not trading those though. So yeah, I'm going into the day not really expecting to see what I want. I mean, we haven't really been trading the no news Mondays, to be honest. A few months ago, I feel like it was a lot better for the no news Mondays, and I was definitely trading them more. Recently, I just haven't been. It's past few weeks haven't been trading them. The weeks before that I was trading them, I was like taking losses on it because it just wasn't performing for me. So we'll see what we get today. Caught a nice short on the euro this morning. Nice 1 to 2 RR. Love that. Good stuff. Dang you trading Bitcoin over here? Little forever model on the Bitcoin. When you do that, Cribix, are you using do you use Ethereum for SMT? Is that what you would use? Okay, makes sense. Just whatever the correlated asset is, huh? Every time. It's always whatever the like. That's funny. So gold would be silver, yes? Like if I'm trading gold looking for SMT, it's funny. You guys are teaching me something here because I don't trade those. So if I'm trading gold and I'm looking for SMT, wouldn't that be silver? It would be. Funny. Yeah, I don't dive into trading those too much. If I am gonna trade them, I just let automation do it usually. Justin probably stopped out now. Well, I think he was on ES, no? Or was he on NQ? I thought he was on ES. Which has been weaker. It's getting a pop into the open here. We're popping to that London high. Three. This SMT might get taken out on ES here. So you see what I mean, guys? Like this is kind of an example of like, yeah, we can pop to this, but did I have any clarity for getting long here in this area? Like, not really, no. If I did at all, I should have been up at 5 a.m. this morning, 4 a.m. this morning, and like trying to catch this. This, like any long early this morning, in my opinion, it was what you had here with your change in the state there. So anything up here is tough to be trying to long that for here. Always good to be patient. I hate entering pre-market. Yeah, it just depends too. Like honestly, I've been trading a lot more pre-market lately. After 8:30 Eastern. I genuinely love it. I love being in positions going into open. But it's also not every day you're going to show up and have clarity for that or have opportunity for that. And if you try to force that, it's not good, you know. I used to do that a lot. Like I used to think, oh, I caught one good setup in pre-market, it's going to be like that every morning. No, the market's not doing the same exact thing every morning, you know what I mean? Not moving in the same exact way like that, you know what I mean? It's not giving you the same setup in the same spots every day. So of course, we're looking for the same thing every day, yes, right? Our system's extremely repeatable, but in terms of where and when that can happen, it's going to be slightly different every morning, right? Although last week, it was hilarious. I had two beautiful trades in pre-market. Was it last week or the week before? Forget. I think it was last week. Two beautiful trades in the pre-market, and they were literally exactly the same both mornings and almost at the exact same time as well. You don't get that very often. This SMT's out. London highs get taken. So we're taking out London highs. It looks like we want to push this 4-hour PD array. Looks like we want to push it here. Turned up, piped up, blow. Baby, what love. Couldn't hear you earlier. What do you expect today? Short from the 4-hour for value gap? Yeah, that's what I'm going with at the moment. I mean, I was looking at the weekly today. Obviously, we had a nice sell-off at the end of last week. We've dropped 4%. Bulls can buy that up. It's just we haven't really dipped into any significant PD arrays. So I'm looking to the left and I'm saying, okay, well, what significant PD arrays do we have to the left? Well, on both ES and NQ, we have giant weekly fair value. That has never been tapped into. So I am pretty bearish this week. Now, the market can tell me I'm wrong. The market can tell me, Jordan, I'm going to fly and you're wrong. But haven't seen that yet, and I would have to see a lot for that to happen. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. Obviously, I'm not trying to rush anything this morning, but we just inversed. We're kind of inversing this 4-hour PD array, right, on both assets. If we want to do that, looks like we're going to push here. I expect us to get a setup for the shorts up here, potentially. If not, I mean, we're just going to keep running and try and run through this, you know what I mean, up through 293. And I mean, that's fine too. It's just I'm not going to be able to get a setup. So so those are my thoughts this morning. Whether we're right or wrong, I mean, we'll see. Either way, no news Monday. I'm not looking to rush anything. Yeah, no worries, man. What's the volatility like? Honestly, even with VIX at 18, the market doesn't seem too volatile in terms of how much a candle's moving. So yeah, I don't have extreme high hopes for today, but I would like to see us get moving to that weekly PD array pretty fast this week, meaning like early in the week. I wouldn't want to do it like Wednesday or Thursday, really, but you never know. That can, of course, happen. Bro, oh, my body is on fire. I'm about to go take a bath in aloe or something. Little yogurt bath. Yeah, that sounds delightful. Bro, I'm about to blow my funded. Any tips? I mean, it depends on how close you are, because obviously, once you get to a certain point of like getting extremely close, you kind of get to a point where it's not even worth it to try and save it. Just know it's okay. It's okay if it's blown, man. We learn from it, but we want to learn and not make the same mistakes over again. So, whatever happens, let it happen. I would say, I mean, I've had times where it's like, hey, you got a few $100 of risk left in your account. I mean, a couple $100 is going to be hard to build from. Like, I feel like I'm almost better off just like, yeah, starting a whole new one. So nothing wrong with I'm not saying not saying everybody should be blowing accounts and shit, but there's nothing wrong with like if you have a few $100 of risk left, there's nothing wrong with sending that and starting fresh with a new mindset and a new look on things. What? All right, we're about to take buy side. See if price becomes less efficient after hitting this level. How was your weekend, Jordan? It was delightful, phenomenal, absolutely great. I went and saw. I don't know how many country fans there are in here. I assume there's not many. But for those that are in here, I went and saw Lee Brice in concert live at the fair. It was amazing. Phenomenal time. Probably nobody in this chat that knows Lee Brice. That's such an L. Oh, it's okay though. It's okay. But great time. Ended up meeting a bunch of new people. But yeah, it was phenomenal. It was great. I don't get out much, to be honest. So like my buddy, he'll hit me up every weekend, and like most weekends I'm just like not really I'm doing shit, you know? But this time he finally got me out the house, you know? He got me out the house. Let's see what we get here. Oh, we have bigger time frame SMT happening here. For your mother. How can I find the 4-hour candle indicator you're using? Just go to indicators and type in HTF power of 3. PO3. You like to trade the first for I got presented? Generally, I usually mark it out. Where is that this morning? I don't generally take trades off of it. If I'm being honest with you, that's more of a Chris thing. He's savvy with the first presented. This looks like the first presented. He's savvy with it though. Chris kills it. I don't use it much. I mean, there's plenty of times where it's like, yeah, the first presented becomes the inverse that I end up using. But I'm not sitting there like trading using the first presented every day, if that makes sense. But like, of course, if it happens to be the fair value gap that inverses for the forever model to play out, like that's even better. Last week I took a trade on Friday and I traded to it. So I didn't take a trade off of it, but I traded to it as a price target because I know it was a small long scout back to the first presented. It was unmitigated. It hadn't been tapped into, and we had to set up at the lows to go long, right? So I was like, okay, that's going to be a potential price target for me, that first presented. So I'll use it kind of like that, if that makes sense. I don't really have a strategy around it that I'm like using every single day. It's just like, hey, if it happens to line up with what I'm already looking at, cool, it's extra confluence. Not trading solely off of it, but I think it's great. I think Chris absolutely kills it with it. His Cairo model is amazing. I mean, you guys watch him do it every day, so the consistency is there. Is it the same on ES? It is not the same. Mm-hmm. Bro, does anybody sit and trade in silence? I'm curious. Because if you do, like, bro, respect. I don't know how you do it. I do it. I'm on the computer. I listen to music all day long. All day long. I think I'd go crazy without it, honestly. Just sitting in silence. Click. I just hear the mouse clicking the whole time. Oh my gosh. Couldn't do it. I'm even playing music while I'm having conversations on X, on Spaces, throughout the day. Because I do have, like, those studio headphones, too, where they're not, like, what is it? They're, like, open ear, so you can hear outside as well. But, see. Not doing much here. It looks like price is becoming a little less efficient, though, after hitting this buy side, this 4-hour high. We do have high time frame SMT put in at the moment. There's potential that ES does not need to trade to this PD array. Why would ES not have to trade to this PD array? Well, if this SMT becomes valid and we're getting a forever model out of this area on NQ, there's no reason for us to trade to this 4-hour PD array yet. But if ES is strong enough, we can push to this 4-hour PD array, invalidate this SMT. Doesn't necessarily mean that the shorts are completely off. It just means at this moment, we're not going to get a high time frame SMT. Got to look on the lower time frame. Trading in darkness and silence is a different level of discipline. Honestly, it's so true. That's so true. It's like going to the gym without no music. It's like all I need is my thoughts. All I need is my dark thoughts to get me motivated. Type shit. Do you listen to Planet Fitness music? Fuck no. Although when I was out in Puerto Rico, I didn't have my headphones with me, like my portable headphones. And so every time I did go to Planet Fitness with the boys, or what was it, 20? Yeah, it was Planet Fitness. Bro, I'm like fucking forced to listen to the Planet Fitness music. I literally, I had to be Goggins. I had to be Goggins. I had to turn myself into Goggins for a month out in Puerto Rico, bro. I was like, okay, no music while training. This is going to be tough, but I can do it, you know. We made it happen. Do not trade and listen to Cardi. What concert did you go to? Lee Brice at the Ventura Fair. I don't even fully live in Puerto Rico yet. I'm in California right now. But taxes are definitely a benefit of going there, yes. TJR style, yeah, pretty much. Do you know Spanish? A little bit. I'm currently learning every day, but don't know enough. Although down there you don't really need to. It's obviously better if you do. It's always good to be the white boy that knows Spanish in a foreign country, but if you don't, like, it's not like you can't do anything. Like, you're fine. You could be a full-on gringo that doesn't know any Spanish and be totally fine in Puerto Rico, but it's obviously way better if you know some Spanish. Practica tu español. It's funny. I feel like I can speak it very well. I feel like because I did my first job ever. I was working in a restaurant, and it's all Mexican guys. You know what I mean? And they were trying their best to teach me Spanish. And like when I would speak Spanish to them, I would put the accent on it. You know what I mean? And they would laugh at me. They're like, you put like the accent on it, and I'm like, yeah, like, should I not? Like, isn't it easier for you to understand? And they're like, yeah, like nobody does. Like, they were saying like no white boys do that. Like, we like that. I was like, all right, bet. So I've always tried my best to, like, I don't know, pronounce things correctly, but it's still difficult. I don't have that good roll of the tongue, but can you explain how to use the 4-hour PO3 indicator? So I'm not really using it. Like, if that, I know that that doesn't really make sense. Let me explain. It's just a reference for me. I'm just watching it. I'm not sitting here, like, I'm not taking any action off of it. It's more just a reference, right? What I'm looking for is all based off of the actual candlesticks, not just the single 4-hour. But when I'm in positions, it's nice to be able to see, like, for instance, let's say this new 4-hour candle that is going to open up in 13 minutes, let's say it's going to manipulate higher to distribute lower, right? Let's say we're going to get a nice short out of this on this next 4-hour candle that opens up. Well, I expect us to open up, accumulate on the lower time frame, manipulate on the lower time frame, right? And see our forever model to go to the downside. While I'm seeing that on the lower time frame, it's nice to have the 4-hour candle represented here, just so I can see, like, oh, yeah, this is starting to play out in my favor. I can see that this 4-hour candle we manipulated up, and that looks like it definitely could be the high of the 4-hour candle, and now we're flipping red on the 4-hour candle, right? It's just nice to be able to see that versus have to flip to the actual 4-hour chart to see it. So that's really all I'm doing with it, to be honest. There's no like secret magic with it. There's no secret sauce. It's just like, it's nice to be able to see, oh, I see my entry for the forever model. This definitely looks like potential 4-hour candle high. Maybe I take an entry, we get some distribution in my favor, and I'm like, okay, now this 4-hour candle's flipping red. This is looking good, right? So that's really all I'm doing with it. Nothing special. No magic sauce with it. It's just nice to see. Yeah, exactly, Zach. I mean, that is essentially what we're trying to do, right? Of course, we're generally not going to catch the whole distribution of the entire 4-hour candle, and I'm not necessarily looking for that, right? I'm looking for those internal levels, but exactly, right? I'm trying to identify the accumulation and manipulation of this 4-hour candle and try my best to, okay, if this is going to be the high of the 4-hour candle, get my entry somewhere in this wick, right? Somewhere in this wick before it flips red type of thing, and vice versa. So yeah. What's the name of that indicator? HTF PO3. Got to have a monster, bro. Why? Your setup looks so much like mine. Bro, we are the same, Zatara. You have all your cords fucking stuffed in the back, just like me. You have your PC off to the right, just like me. You have your smaller screen off to the right. I have the same, and you have your bigger screen to the left right there with your keyboard. Bro, we're the same. That's hilarious. That's so funny with the white blank ass wall in the background. Dude, we are twinning. Stop ignoring me. I'm sorry, I didn't see your message. What'd you say? What'd you say? Where's your chat? I'm sorry, I look away from the screen for 2 seconds and I'll look at the charts and miss chats. I'm sorry. Wait, you can't see screen? What do you mean? Wait, you guys see? You guys can't see my screen? Some of us can see. Some of us can't. Okay. We're good. Majority can. For those that can't, maybe leave and come back. Try that multiple times. I don't know. Because you should be good. You guys scared me right there, man. Fuck. You guys scared me. I was like, dude, this whole time? No way, bro. It's like, dude. It's early in the morning for me on Pacific, but it's not that early. Come on. Shit. Would you take a short out of this 4-hour PD array when there was another one in premium above it? Yes, potentially. If we get clarity for it, if we get an actual setup for it, right? But those thoughts about that next one sitting above us, it's valid. Especially since what is also up here? Well, the model, right? The exact model we trade is here. What do we have here? Inverse of all of this price action. Change in the state on the 4-hour. So isn't it viable to potentially think that the market can make it back here to play out the model, to retest, and then go lower? Absolutely. And those thoughts are in my mind as well. But at the same time, this is where you guys have heard me say this before. What is happening right now? Yes, those are valid thoughts. Yes, the market has plenty of potential to retest back up there. But what is happening now? Well, what's happening right now is market tapped into a 4-hour inefficiency. And if we were to see SMT, inverse fair value gap, change in the state, there is potential to get some sort of model to sell back down before we go higher. Because again, this is on a higher time frame. Yes, do I think we could potentially retest this? Absolutely. But here's the thing, since this is on a higher time frame, what could happen before that? Well, we could potentially see a short out of this to retest this 4-hour fair value gap down here that we're forming right now to then go higher later. Does that make sense? Because, again, it matters what's happening now. This market can retest here, but we might not just shoot straight up all the way to this gap. We might have to form structure to get there, which means there might be a viable short out of this area to retest that 4-hour gap and then maybe get the long out of the 4-hour gap into that area. Right? So just some thoughts. I know it's a lot, but price is fractal. We have to think that way. So that's my thoughts on that. Bob, yo, that gif. Exactly. Yes, Patrick. We are trading in an area where I can expect potential manipulation to go lower. What levels lower could we potentially retest? Well, we have untapped London low, untapped Asia low. When this new 4 hour candle opens up, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when this 4 hour candle that we're on closes and a new one opens up? We're going to create fair value. Fair value potentially needs to be retested. Or market's extremely strong and we just run through, right? That's still that's viable. That's possible. I'm not saying it isn't. But this is the market for you, right? You have to account for all potential things that can happen. And then what am I seeing right now, right? And if it lines up, it lines up. If not, we kick back until we see clarity. Will there ever be meet and greets if some of us are profitable enough to spend money? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've done like plenty of meet and greets in the past, and they're less like a meet and greet and more like just a networking event. Like we don't really call it a meet and greet. We usually do like just full blown networking event. We've done them in the past for people on X Spaces, are following there. We've met up with plenty of people. We've done them in Huntington Beach in Miami. We've done them in New York. So we go around to the big cities pretty frequently. So I'll definitely let you guys know when the next one's happening. And if it's close to y'all, the move. But I'm also thinking, I would love to get something going with just like the Tactical Traders crew for sure. It'd be awesome. I know Justin was out in California recently. I let him know. I was like, if you come near Camarillo, that's close to me. So come to Vegas. I was just out there like a month and a half ago. I was out there for the Bitcoin conference. My boy's out there right now. I was actually supposed to go, but I ended up not going. Because I wanted to go to a Lee Bryce concert instead. And it's not like I needed to be there. It was just for business meeting event, but not needed for me to be there. I took the risk, quit my job last week. I've almost passed my 50K fund at eval. I almost passed my 25K. Now I'm full porting 10K for fun. Soon onto the 100K, then I'll definitely come and travel. Let's go, baby. Keep killing it, my man. I'm in SB. You do Santa Barbara? Are you really? Come on, Jordan. I got a network and you're going to Lee Bryce concerts. Hey, I never go out, okay? Give me a break, all right? I want to have one night, all right? Can you restart your screen? Okay. I'm going to leave and I'm going to come back. Wait, screen is good. Don't go. Okay. Okay, I'm staying. I'm staying. I'm staying. I feel like a dog, and you guys are like, stay, come, stay, go. I'm like, fuck. What do I do? I think y'all need to upgrade your Wi-Fi, is what I think. Okay. Or maybe it's me. Some people need to update Discord. Yeah, seems like it, huh? These guys, man. When the Wi-Fi acting up. Guys, I used to live on a boat and I had better Wi-Fi than some of y'all. Come on. Where you from? California. Ventura County. Why'd you live on a boat? You know, just because it's a vibe. Just to catch a vibe real quick, you know? We're looking very aggressive through this 4-hour PD array so far. To the upside. Swimming and shit on the daily. Yeah, bro. It was pretty dope. Living on a boat, fun time. Wouldn't want to do it forever, but a fun time. Was it like a sailboat? No, it was I don't know if you know Carvers. It was a 50-foot Carver 500, big twin turbo diesel, dual engine, a beauty, an absolute beauty. Why you called Ace the Kid? Just wondering because he aces every trade. LOL. Not true, but honestly, that came about a while ago. I don't know exactly. Like, it was me and some of the Discord people I was with at the time. Like, I had another name beforehand, and they were like, "This name kind of sucks. We should change it." And we all started talking. We're like they kept because I was like throwing. It was like the first time I was like really throwing some bangers out for the Discord room I was in at the time, and they were like, "Oh, you got some aces up your sleeves, brother," and then they're like, "That should be your name." And so I was like, "All right, just roll with it." Ace the Kid. When I have a kid, though, I'm gonna have to change it to Ace the Dad. You know. Would you play poker for an event? Maybe. I've never played like competitive poker. I'm about to head towards Oxnard soon. Today? The Nard. This guy's going to the Nard. Chris. Wait, what is that screenshot? Stream failed to start. Having issues with your stream. I don't think me restarting is going to do anything for you though. That's the only thing. I don't think it's an issue on my end. And I don't want to. It was working for me. Now it isn't. Oh, I know it can't be on my end. I'm fucking wired in. Okay. And my Discord won't even start unless it's updated, I don't think so. True. That is true. If it was my problem, nobody would be able to see. It's probably valid. How's the general markets looking? Apple up. Let's do the run through. Apple. Oh, Amazon relatively weak. BA. I think BA had some news. Coinbase getting a bounce from the lows. Meta, Microsoft's ripping. Tesla trying to get a pop. That had a gap. UNH getting a rip from the lows. All right. Gold's up. Crude oil's fucking flat as always. How do you get into stocks and long-term investing, knowing when and where to invest? Any books / vids recommendations? You know, in terms of like longer term investing, I not a whole lot of books for me. I have some books more on like the trading side of things, like The Best Loser Wins. Trading in the Zone is phenomenal. I still to this day listen to Trading in the Zone audio all the time. Some other books that are good, like The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It's not necessarily a trading book, but it like very much will put you in a similar mindset. To be honest, though, in terms of longer term investing, my knowledge comes from watching what has happened over and over and over since the dawn of the stock market. In my opinion, the long term side of things is this, like, it's so simple. It's so simple, but I also am extremely patient. And I will wait years to see prices that I want. But I sit back and wait for crises to happen. What just happened? We had the tariff dip. I buy dips like that. I buy COVID dips. I buy tariff dips. I buy anything that's a massive crisis that makes everybody think that the market is going to zero and we're on a 20-30% dip. I buy SPY. I buy QQQ. That's really it. I mean, obviously, you can buy a bunch of companies, individual names that are within the SPY and QQQ that you believe in, of course. And I used to do that as well. I keep it a little more simple now and just buy ETFs because I'm so focused on short-term price action. I don't want to have all that stress of the individual names on my back as well. But, I mean, I keep it very simple. And since the dawn of the stock market, what has happened? Doesn't matter if it's 08, tariffs, COVID, it all becomes a buying opportunity. So I just have to make sure I got a little gunpowder on the sidelines, a little cash sitting ready for that. And everything else, I trade. Any other time in the market, we're trading. I mean, I'm still trading during those times. It's just I'm taking that money and actively investing it. How long have you been trading? Almost 5 years now. Since 2020. But it was like later in the year, so. I'd say 2022 is when things really started to click. A little bit like, I don't know, for a little while there, I was dicking off. Not really improving at all. But you gotta do that to learn, right? What advice would you give to create generational wealth? Listen to absolutely nobody. Listen to nobody on social media when they start talking about the market when we start dipping. Unless that person is saying, this is what the market has done since the dawn of human time. Okay. And we buy every dip. People literally thought that these tariffs were going to put the market to zero, guys. Look at us now. And so I would say the best tip for that is be patient, stack cash when the market's ripping like this. I know it sucks if you're sitting on the sidelines right now and you have no long-term investments and the market's at all-time highs, but just know the market always has its cycles. The market will have another dip at some point. You might have to be extremely patient, but in the meantime, trade, stack cash, and wait. Right? And when those opportunities become apparent, take advantage, in my opinion. I keep it very simple, guys. This is what I did. I buy VU, which VU is the SPY. It's just the Vanguard ETF, and it gives you a slightly better expense ratio over time, so you make more. This is what I did. I went on a weekly chart, and I pointed out all the biggest weekly lows. And tariffs hit. We hit my first weekly low. I bought 468.89. My second weekly low got hit 453.90. I bought again. And I was waiting for this weekly low to get hit, 428.64. We never got hit, so I just sat with the investments that I had here. And we're back to the upside. Now, the next time we come down, I'll be looking at these weekly levels, right? This weekly low again if we want to come down there. These weekly lows, all this, even though I don't even know if that'll happen, but over and over on repeat, man. Same with Qs. Qs as well. Qs had the same thing. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. It's ridiculous, man. But people want to buy all-time highs for some reason. It's crazy. I see it happening all the time. How often does Justin stream in here? Twice a week. And then me and Chris the other days, and then Justin the other days are in the mentorship. Do you like shorts here? No. Seen no SMT. You're trying to get a little bit of an inverse, but it's not enough. I'm not taking shorts here, guys. We haven't even inversed 5. You haven't even inversed this. I know that candle looked a little gross, but you haven't even inversed this at all. And changing the state on the 1 minute would be all the way down here, and you have no SMT. Invalid. Not valid. Not for me, at least. I want you guys to do you, though. If you have a slightly different plan that has slightly different points of confluence, play your plan. I have nothing here. We have 1 minute bullish SMT. Yeah, we have bullish SMT. Facts. Correcto mundo. Correcto mundo, sir. You have bullish SMT. Facts. What were the things that made you profitable? What were the things you started doing differently? The things I didn't want to do. Journaling. Reviewing those trades. Reviewing what actually worked, what didn't work. Trading much less. Picking a definitive time to trade every day. 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Not gonna lie, you sound like my Go Trader main. A lot of people say I sound like Justin. I don't know if it's like the cadence of my voice or like my actual voice. I don't know. I never really thought so. But you guys seem to think so. I think I sound a little bit more California. A little bit more surfer boy. Oh, I know. I do it for you, Zatara. I do it for you. I feel like I sound like Justin when I start getting really passionate about talking about like trading. That's when I feel like I sound like Justin. like you guys will start talking to me and I'll get all hyped up and I'll be like, well, this is why. Like I get all fucking passionate about it. What would you recommend risking on a 50K account? I would say it really depends on, where you're at in your trading. If you're at a point where you've already passed plenty of evals, like you trade funded pretty consistently, you know what I mean, and you're just like getting another account, I would say, people will say you're over risking, but if you're confident in your plan, like I don't mind over risking and only giving myself 2 to 3 trades before the account's blown to pass that shit fast. Now, if you're newer, you haven't passed an account yet, that's where I would take it a little slower. Like me personally, obviously you don't have to do the same exact thing, but me personally, I risked $250 on each trade on my first eval. I still did that for a while on many evals, and I'll still do that once, like if let's say I pass an eval on a 50K and now it's funded, I start out trading $250 risk until I build a little bit of a buffer and I'm a little more comfy taking some more risk on it. So that's what I did personally. Making, about a 2R on every trade I was taking. I mean, you can pass a funded pretty quick. You pass an eval pretty quick doing that. About $500, Fabio. That's what I'm usually doing. If manipulation happens, would you go short? Potentially, if all the points of confluence are there. But what I don't like is you've seen price action. Here's the thing. If bears were super interested in this area, in my opinion, we would have peeked our head into this, held that higher time frame SMT that we formed, and went lower from there. But you see all this aggression in this PD array, which makes me think even if there is a short, it's probably only going to be down to the bottom of this PD array to hold and then to go back higher. Like we were talking earlier, there is potential to retest this change in the state we made, retest this inverse, this PD array we made, right? Somebody was talking about that that we had this 4-hour gap more in a premium, right? And they're 100% right. If the market wants to, we can blow through this and just trade into here. Regardless, though, I would expect some sort of rejection at the top of this. I would expect rejection at the top of this 4-hour gap, but we'll see. Doesn't have to. If bulls are strong enough, they can just fly right through it. To be honest, it seems like we have to build structure here because now you have SMT on both ends. Obviously, if we're getting delivery out of a 4-hour, I'm going to listen to the SMT at the highs, but now we're just in an environment where things are inefficient. SMT on both ends on the lower time frame here. Have you seen ICT high time frame candles by Fadi? Gives you more options. Just suggestion for you to at least look at it. I have not, but I'll take a look at it because I'm always open to learning more and seeing more always. So you think the low hanging fruit would be the bottom of the 4-hour PD array? At this point, yeah. We also have an inefficiency that hasn't been tapped into down there that could retest. So yeah, it's just like, it's a tough short. Like, let's say, even if you set up here, let's say you inverse this right now and get a change in the state. You still have this SMT holding, which could potentially just hold and then go higher. Along with it, you only got to down here, which could still be a nice move. Especially if you got that whole 80 points, but... Bum, 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 bum. Again, too, you have 15-minute for value here. Bullish. Would have to expect that to hold. I don't love the short from what I'm seeing so far. I mean, you haven't even seen the full points of confluence yet, but even if I did, I'm not in love with it here. But it's looking better than it was. I know you guys get excited when you see like something like this and you're like, "Oh, we're inversing price action. Maybe there's a change in the state, but there was no SMT yet, right?" Be patient. That is the best saying I've ever heard. Trading's like a fart. If you need to force it, it's probably shit. I love that. It's actually the best thing I've heard of all week. It is Monday, but... You could potentially ignore it if it did its job, but to me, I don't know that SMT did its job until you get a change on the state to the downside, personally. Only because, like, I get what you're saying, the SMT did its job to the highs, right? But NQ didn't actually even take the highs. Regardless, though, what if that's not the whole job, right? Because I've had that same thought process before. And I use that thought process, right? The SMT's done its job type of thing. But I don't really know that until you get a change in the state to the downside. Definitely like things better looking on ES. There's potential for it here. What would standard deviation be? Standard deviation lines up with this 15-minute PD array. There is potential for this. In this case, let's say you were to get like an entry here on NQ or something like that, or even on ES. In my opinion, once you take this SMT low and tap into that 15-minute PD array, not a bad spot to go break even if that were to set up there. How to use standard deviation. If you can correctly mark the change in the state, then you can correctly mark standard deviation because it's just the change in the state leg. So, right, we have a series of up-close candles that swept liquidity to the left. Right, that is our manipulation leg. So I draw our standard deviation fib from the high to the low, given a short opportunity. If it's a long opportunity, it's going to be from the low to the high, right? And then I'm always looking to target that 2.5 on standard deviation, personally. Looks like we'll get a sweep into that 15-minute and then head up, potentially. But I'll take trades a lot of the time, and people will be like, "We had a 15-minute PD array. Why'd you take that trade?" But it worked out for you. Because if we're getting delivery from a higher time frame PD array, I'm not as worried about that. But 100%, that's why too. If I get a short and we tap into that 15-minute PD array, it's a great spot to go potentially break even, right, and save yourself from potentially taking a loss there. If you're gonna give it a shot, right? What was wrong here? Yeah, that's not quite a change in the state because it's not the series of up-close candles that swept liquidity. And you had no inverse fair value gap, which is needed in my opinion. I did mark the low. Yes. I mark it's so that's the only thing that's different from like the change in the state to standard deviation is change in the state we're doing the body low. Standard deviation you run wick to wick, as you can see. Why you like ES more? So how you would manage a tough trade? What would you do? I don't necessarily like one asset, but honestly, if I have to say, I like NQ better, generally when trading. But this morning, tending to like ES better because it's the one that took out the highs. Either way, though, I mean, it's essentially both our assets right now are pretty much in tandem with each other. So even if it doesn't matter, in my opinion, right here, which one you were to take it off of. I think Chris and Justin have a lot more insight on that than I do personally. I really am like, what's cleaner looking, dude? Like, what is giving me potential better risk to reward, or like, what is looking better to me? That's it. That's all it really is. But there's definitely times where it's like, okay, risk to reward on NQ, not good enough, but on ES, I like it, so I'm going to take it there, you know? Let's see, do they try and trigger that? I don't see much displacement. I'd want to see, yeah, there you go. Get some aggression stepping in there. Mm. Dude, is Shoreline Mafia playing right now? I am listening to Shoreline Mafia right now. To get a change in the state there. 242.50. I'll throw in a limit order. I will wait for the limit order on this, though. I will not just market enter on this. I'll risk SMT high. I'll look to go break even at 15-minute PD array because we expect that to get tapped into, and we expect bulls to potentially hold that. So, are we in? I'm not in. I have a limit order. I'll give this a shot, but it's not a bad idea to maybe wait for it on ES, because you can see ES is still trying to hold that. I'll give it a shot, though. It's what we got this morning. This is what I do every morning, guys, and it pretty much happens at the same time every day. Sorry, let me set this. Sometimes it's like more in pre-market. Sometimes it's after 10 o'clock. Other times it's whatever, but what I don't want to see here is this inverse. I might just take the loss right away if we inverse this, because that should not be happening. I want to see this respect. Might be an insta stop out this morning. I don't mind a little bit of volatility, though, but I want to see this close under, which did not. Is what it is. Would like to see that get insta slap, but with that aggression right after I enter, that's not efficient in my favor. That's efficient against me, which is not ideal. And now you have this taken out this high, which is not ideal. So what do I need to see happen here? If this is going to play out, what do I need to see happen here, chat? You need to see ES get slapped off that SMT high, because if that's not going to get slapped and hold this SMT now, what's going to happen? This is going to potentially hold and trade right back to the highs here, right? Yeah, we shouldn't hold this. If this is going to work, we should run right back through this. If not, we're going to hold. Pop up higher, stop me out here. Ace, please, bro. What? Wait, what happened? Just throw your PC out the window. It will work. Guys, I don't think me restarting is going to help you. W trolls? Dude, is it trolls? I swear. Stop trolling me, y'all. Well, you see what we wanted. I don't like to endure that volatility pop there. But as long as ES can get slapped and hold this SMT, should be fine. I just don't like how we're respecting this. I like to generally, because I've been in plenty of plays, I'm sure you guys have too, where you get that change in the state and maybe you get this abrupt volatility pop and then it ends up going back. The issue is I usually see that happen pretty aggressively, right back to the downside. And you can see these candles are holding this PD array very well here. So don't love my chances there. But if we can get a nice little stick back through this. Oh, you going to save me here? I would be very grateful. I would be very grateful if that's the case. I would be quite happy. But we'll see. What the fuck? Inverse that on ES. That's what we want to see. Let's throw this on. All right, watch this 15-minute PD array. Because if we hold this, it's not going to be good for the shorts, in my opinion. Now, I would like to see a retest of this 15-minute PD array. Give us our potential target here. We should respect this inverse that we just made. If this is going to play out, this should respect. If not, my inverse right back to the upside here. Because you do have, technically, you have SMT here. I would like to see this SMT be what I call, this is what I call these SMTs that form against me like this. So I would like to see that not work. Any SMT that forms against me is instantly gay. I don't make the rules. I did not make the rules, guys. Okay. Don't come at me. Okay. It was not me. Okay. Dude, okay. I'll restart. I just don't want to, like... I don't want to fuck it up for the people that it's working for. He says we all go down together. Okay. I'll be back in 0.2 seconds. Okay? 0.2 seconds. We're back. We're back in action, baby. Hooray! Is this what it was like to be the blind man that Jesus healed? I can see. We'll see if this wants to play, boys. We've seen what we need to see. ES even took out another high and put in SMT, but we also have SMT that just formed against me. We'll see. It's what we were given this morning, so I'm happy to take the shot, win or loss, because we know that we've already won. Statistically, by the end of the year, we've already won. I can't believe my eyes! We keep trying to pop up and inverse this. Now, we have been slapping it right again, right? We inverse this here, and then we just got slapped right again. I just want to see us be more efficient in my favor here, which we're not really doing. So I've seen what I want to do. Chris doesn't like SMTs. He tells people to quit asking about SMTs. You feel different, it appears. I won't take a trade with that one. But I also get what Chris is saying, because a lot of people are marking SMTs that are irrelevant. So I do understand what he's saying. I can't take a trade without it, though, personally. And that's me, you know? Everybody's going to be slightly different in that area. I can't take a trade without an SMT. It won't happen, really. And if it does happen, generally it's been a loss. But if it does happen and it works out, it's usually because we've already seen SMT happen and I'm taking a continuation trade on something. And, you know, it gets stopped or whatever. Or not gets stopped, but like let's say you've already seen the forever model starting to play out, like on your bigger time frame, and then maybe I'm trying to catch the continuation on a 30-second. I've already seen like the SMT happen, you know. I've already seen the model happen. I'm playing continuation, so I usually don't there, but like I love SMTs, man. I won't really trade without it personally. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a banger. Victory lap. Nipsey. I haven't listened to Nipsey in a minute. This 4-hour candle's completely flat. We haven't done anything on this 4-hour yet. What are we looking like on this time frame? Where's 50% of last 4-hour candle? That's what I want to know. Nope. 156.50? Interesting. It's an interesting spot. First presented still down here. First presented is even lower on ES. Who detached us? Nipsey? Ooh. Can you stream the sound too so music won't be bad? You know, I don't know how to do that on Discord. It will pick up on the recording too, and I don't think you guys want that, to be completely honest. Yeah, PA's slow. We are in this environment with SMTs at both ends. We're respecting the bull side pretty well here too, to be honest. Unless we run right back through this. This is getting messy though with all this. This is what little bit of inefficient price action looks like, though, guys. Do you see how this became an inverse? Well, for one, do you see how this inversed first? Then we inversed it back. Then we inversed this. Right? And like now we're trying to come back through it, right? This is that slow PA. You know what's funny though? I don't mind being in this PA too much as long as I'm not in it for all day, of course, right? I don't mind being stuck in a little inefficient price action though. The key for me is as long as I have clarity on what's going on, I'm okay sitting in a bit of chop. I think people get really scared of chop, which I mean for a good reason, especially if you're trading options. Options can be really tough. You don't want to get caught in chop with options, but with futures, obviously it sucks to sit in a position for long. But if I have clarity on a position, generally this happens on a higher time frame as well. If I have clarity on a higher time frame, I'll sit through chop. I don't care as long as I'm not hitting my stop and we're still moving like in my favor and I have clarity on things. Chop is okay. But of course, there's nothing better than entering a position and having inefficiency straight to your target, of course, right? There's nothing better than that. She's trying. We'll see here. I'm just kicking back with my feet up now at this point. The hard work is over. We've seen what we need to do and we've put on the risk. What's your opinion on going break even after that bullish SMT got put in place? Not enough for me to go break even on this type of position here. It's just not enough, personally. I'm not giving myself enough room if I do that at all. So, just not viable on this position personally. Unless you're like consciously looking to take like a very, very small amount of risk today and you're really trying to cover yourself for whatever reason. You know, I don't see that. Not my move there. You would not want to leave a runner. I only have one contract on, so. Will it inverse the inverse? Inverse the inverse? The inverse? That's a goddamn tongue twister right there. Oh. That's funny. Why are you not trading MNQ? Because volatility is low enough for me to risk the same amount and trade this. All right, 15-minute PD array about to get tapped into. I kind of just want to take it off at this 15-minute PD array, but I'm going to go break even, and I'm going to see what the reaction is like. If we get like an aggressive bounce, I might just take this off. Generally, yes, but this is an opportunity where I'm not really looking to scale and hold runners. But if I was, yes. Obviously, you want to trade MNQ so you have the ability to scale there. All right, it's free trade now. I took ES. Thoughts? Totally fine. Although you might have... No, it's totally fine. I don't see an issue with that at all. No issue with that. Come on, take this out. $15-minute gets tapped into. I want to see aggression step in here. We have SMT forming against us. 15-minute bullish SMT. If we form a fair value gap on this next candle that opens, I'm putting my stop above that fair value gap. Because we could get a reaction from the bulls out of this right now. I would like to see bears step in a little heavier and run through this to tap into the next 15-minute PD array, but that doesn't necessarily have to happen. This is going to go lower. We should respect bearish fair value. We might need to pop to this one, but I would hope not, because my stop's right there. Yeah, W execution. I'm looking for a little more than that 15-minute PD array here. So, but have to go break even at least, right? When you're getting SMT forming against you like this, it's either shave off some profits or forced to go break even. First, like internal high or internal low can be viable. It just depends on what price action is already done, though, in my opinion. So if you're looking at price action, you've seen the model play out and you took a market order on the change in the state, and we haven't retested the inverse for value gap or the change in the state in which you took a trade off of, and then you go break even, and that's where your entry is. You got to expect that to get stopped out of break even, right? Because market has not retapped the inefficiencies it needs to retap, right? Now that the market has tapped these inefficiencies, I don't expect it to go up there anymore unless the trend's changing against me, right? We got the inverse change in the state, and we've traded through those levels multiple times and back tested them. I don't expect the market to need to go back there if I'm right. Now, if we just got the setup and rugged and took an internal low and never got the back test, then there's more potential for me to get stopped at break even. Why? Because we need to go back test there. There's more reason for us to go back test that area. Does that make sense? Good. Just making sure. So ES just ran right back through this PD array. That's not what we want to see. So it's a free trade, though. Love the honestly. I used to hate these trades where it's like break even stop. I've learned to love them because I've changed the mindset from break even being break even to break even being first TP. Does that make sense? And you kind of change your mindset. I saw this video of this trader, and he's like, break even trades are my favorite. And I didn't understand it at first, and I kept watching, and he's like, literally just got given the chance to have a free trade. How is that not amazing? Like, stop the break even there. Hey, let's go MD. Yeah, treat break even